Coming to you live. Well, we're live. You're not listening to us live.
No.
We're coming to you from the Hideout.
Woo!
The home, the offices of the San Antonio Gunslingers. We are the Smokin Gunz Podcast. My name is Philip Higginbotham. I'm joined, as always, by Leo Yamas.
What's up, Gunslingers Posse?
And as usual, I guess now I have to say, by R.C. Woods.
That's right.
She's pumped.
R.C. is
pumped.
back.
Woo, 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 woo. Pump's ready.
You were not able to be with us last time.
I'm making up for today, though.
And that was a bummer. I'm not going to lie.
What's in RC's drink?
Different kind of show.
Really?
It was a different kind of show. It was weird.
It was
Jason
different.
tried to sit in for you. Jason Torres.
Yeah.
CEO. EO?
OO, I think.
COO. Chief Operating Officer of the San Antonio Gunslingers set in for you. It just wasn't the same.
No.
You
I
called
missed
in
y'all.
and talked to us for a minute. Just
Yeah.
wasn't the same.
Aw.
So it's good to have you back. It's good to be back together again.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels right.
So this is the first actual. We've done a trial show of 2021. This is the first actual show because we're all three back together. We're all three.
And we all
together.
have the same shirts on.
We do.
Yeah,
we're all
we
matching.
coordinate.
And we did not coordinate that at
No,
all.
we
We
didn't.
didn't talk about. We don't talk about anything. We don't like come up with what the show's going to sound like or any of that kind of stuff. We just fly off the cuff.
That's who we are.
We'll meet at the Hideout
Yep.
at this time, and we'll just go, and we do.
See what happens.
Maybe that's why the shows are so long. Maybe if we
A little more structure.
maybe we structured things, they wouldn't be so
Nah.
long. But you know what? Hey, I like having a long show. I like being able to listen because I listen. You listen?
Oh, I do listen.
Do you?
Because I listened
Yeah.
when Jason sounded kind of soft, and I thought, do I sound that soft? But I guess he just wasn't close enough to the mic or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason, you
You can
ain't
hear
talking
me,
more
right?
into the mic.
Can you hear me?
up.
Can you hear me?
Speak up, Jason. And Jason is not a shy guy at all.
No.
So it's odd that we have that trouble. We are the Smokin Gunz Podcast. We are a podcast that deals with football, more specifically football in San Antonio, and even more
True.
specifically than that, football in San Antonio centered around the San Antonio Gunslingers of the American Arena League. The greatest thing to happen to San Antonio football.
Los Pistoleros.
Los Pistoleros.
Yeah.
The Gunslingers.
Yeah, in Spanish. Yeah.
And we concentrate a lot on the Gunslingers.
We do.
Not completely on
I'd
the
say
Gunslingers.
98%.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
but this week, this show, like we're in a great time of football right now.
That's
we just
true.
had the national championship game, which was a dud.
Yeah.
Just a real dud, and I've got some thoughts on that. And we just had the divisional round of the NFL playoffs with the championship games coming up this Sunday.
Yeah.
And I've got thoughts on some of that kind of stuff. So I want to talk about some of that, and this is my outlet to do that.
Hey.
This is where I go. My wife doesn't talk to me about football. She has
She
no
doesn't?
idea who Deshaun Watson is, and you
Oh.
do.
I do.
This is your forum.
This is my forum. This is where I get to get on my soapboxes and talk about how Deshaun Watson needs to shut up. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's start with Gunslingers because that's
All
what we
right.
talk about. Let's start with Gunslingers football. So much has happened
So much.
in the 2 weeks since we recorded. The
It's like bang, 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 right?
big thing happened the day after we recorded the last episode. We knew it was coming if you listened to the last episode, and you did, because
Right.
why would you not? You could pick up that we knew this was coming,
We were close to something big.
but the
Really
San Antonio Gunslingers have settled on a venue.
Woo!
They're going to be at the Rose Palace
I like the way that sounds.
out in it's in San Antonio. Are we still
Technically
going?
Yeah,
within the San
technically it
Antonio
is.
speed
But it's
limit,
up
or
I-10.
city limit.
But it's up I-10, Leon Springs area between
Yeah.
Bernie and San Antonio. Not a long drive. Now,
No.
my
No.
understanding is all that construction on 10 has now moved further up 10.
Done, yeah.
Yeah.
They're good there.
So you're good up through Bernie Stage, which is where you would exit 10. So quick little jaunt out there, a little drive out there. What we know about the Rose Palace, what do you know? I know very little about the Rose Palace. I know it's about a 4,500 seat venue.
Yep.
I know that they're going to bring in some more bleachers and some more
yep.
seats, so there will be more seating than that.
As well as the seating down along the walls, the what do they call them?
The dasher boards.
Dasher boards, They'll have some seats set out there. And they have a balcony That's
Ooh.
standing room only that you can buy per game tickets, not season tickets for, but per game tickets to stand in the standing room only balcony.
Is that what they're calling the owner box?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, that is
So
completely
we got to talk
separate.
about all of these ticket options because
Yeah,
there
yeah.
were more
There's a
ticket
lot.
options
There's
than
a
I
lot.
expected.
And there's also tailgating. They're going to allow us to tailgate.
We
That's
are.
for
We're
me.
going to be able to tailgate out there. Interesting things about the venue, or it's owned or was owned at some point by George Strait,
And we haven't been able to confirm that he's not still the owner. So
That's true.
the king of country music, who lives practically across the street from this in the Dominion.
Right.
excuse me, I think you got my chair.
Yeah, yeah. I like that reference. That's good.
Yeah.
Some people call him the fireman.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, right across the street in the Dominion is where George Strait at least has a home. I don't know. I'm sure he has
Oh, yeah.
several.
He has more than one.
Or at least did at one time. At one time, he owned the Rose Palace. It is traditionally a rodeo arena.
Yeah. It's a good sized place.
It has housed indoor football before. This is
Yeah.
not the first time
The
that
Steers
indoor
or something like that. What were they called?
San Antonio Stampede, I want to say.
Okay.
And that may be wrong, but it seems like that's what Jason had told us.
Yeah, something.
Was that it was a San Antonio Stampede. Is it the Freeman Coliseum or is it the Alamo Dome?
No.
But if you've been paying attention at all, you'll know that Freeman, we've talked about this on the show before, is currently a testing site, and they're getting federal dollars to be a testing site for COVID.
Right.
So they are not booking anything else right now because federal dollars are big dollars.
Yep.
And then if you've been paying attention and connecting the dots, the Alamo Dome is currently a vaccination center.
Yeah.
They're
So
pretty
once
big-
again,
they're
that is
busy right
federal
now.
That's federal money that is coming into the Alamo Dome. So both of those venues were out. It's not a matter of the Gunslingers couldn't book those. Nobody could book those.
Right.
And I think the other option was Jason's garage, but I think the owner wanted too much money for that contract.
Yeah, well, I understand that it was cheaper to go with the Rose Palace than Jason's Garage. He was asking for more
Yeah.
than the Rose Palace was asking.
He got
for.
greedy.
Yeah, hey, it happens. So we've got a venue, we've got a place to play, we've got the beginnings of a schedule leaking out with ticket sales going on. So
Yes.
here's the things that have happened since we recorded. They had a flash sale 2 Saturdays ago.
Which I bought my tickets.
I got mine.
I got mine.
$50
Uh-huh.
season tickets
For 5 games.
for all of the games.
Right.
All the games.
That's what season tickets usually means.
Okay. Wait, well,
home
people
games.
notice
Home
5
games.
games.
Home games, yeah. That doesn't get you into the games up in Dallas
No.
or not Dallas, Fort Worth Convention Center.
Austin,
Austin.
El Paso.
Austin will be here both times, I believe.
Oh, that's right, because
they're a travel
team.
So they had the flash sale for $50. It was a 12-hour period, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And what was interesting about that is they're $50 tickets. How much are you saving on that? Nobody knew. Like, you want to get in, it's going to save you some money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we know.
Yeah.
And it's $20 a ticket that you saved because season tickets, general admission season tickets are $70.
$70. Yep.
So you were saving $20 to jump in on the flash sale. You guys, I'm going to be in the broadcast booth, so I didn't buy season tickets. Sorry, Jason.
Ooh.
I
didn't-
would be
Aren't
in the
you
broadcast booth,
special?
but yeah, I got for lowlies and
Yeah.
a guest.
Yeah, you got people that want to come see the game.
Right,
My wife
yeah.
has no desire whatsoever to see football. We've discussed this on the
Yeah.
show before. It's not her thing,
Oh, I need to hang out with the fans.
and that's fine. But you guys saved. So you bought 2 tickets. You saved
Yes.
$40 on your tickets.
Nice.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
Oh, it does.
Yes,
adds
it
up.
is.
The other things you got if you jumped in on the flash sale, which seems mean at this point. Like, we're going to tell you all the things you missed out on if you didn't.
Wah, wah, wah.
Right. I have that.
Snooze, you lose.
Oh, you
I
have
don't-
that? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, play it. Go ahead.
Let's
I don't
try
know which
it.
one it is.
Oh, just push one.
I have no idea which one it is.
Be adventurous.
Press a button.
I'm not
Press
doing
a
it.
button.
Let's see.
No, I'm
Let's
not
do
doing
it.
I'm
See
not
what
doing
you
it.
get.
It's not even
No.
caught up.
Let's see what you get.
This is it?
No.
Well, we
No.
tried. See,
Okay, all
this
right.
is why we don't do these things.
We need to practice.
So you get priority seating, and what that means is they're all general admission tickets except for the dasher boards, the owner box, and the standing room. All the general admission tickets are first come, first serve. So you did not buy a seat. You didn't buy a seat along the 25-yard line, which is the middle of the field. You didn't get that. You just bought a general admission ticket, and you do that now when you buy season tickets. The people who bought their tickets as part of this flash sale will have 30 minutes before gates open to come in and select their seats.
Yeah, so you get first choice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you get them on a link. You don't go to Rose Palace to buy the tickets.
Yeah, that
Just
poor
FYI.
one guy that came out on
I'm so sorry for
and
it.
he
Dudley
said-
was his name.
Yes, he said I came out here and there's nobody here, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I wish I could have helped him. I
felt
offered
so
to
bad
help
for
him, you know.
Which is odd. There's not a box office there or anything.
Maybe
you
he just
got to buy
wanted to
them
go for
online.
a drive. I don't know.
Maybe he walked all the way.
No, don't say. I don't think so. Poor thing. But Dudley, if you're listening, which I hope you are, if you still have any questions, RC, I'll help you out. Okay.
Well, and I know he's already asked some questions about buying season tickets once those went on sale. So 2 Saturdays ago was the flash sale.
Yep. Also, you forgot to mention, I think don't you get 20% off on
Yes.
gear?
You do, which is huge. 20% off on gear is awesome.
That is a lot.
Because you're going to want to buy your jerseys. You're going to want to buy your T-shirts, your hats.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And you're going to get that 20% off if you were part of the flash sale.
Yep.
And then there was
part of an exclusive group that will get invites to special events
Right.
and be able to meet players and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so really it was kind of the perfect fan package. You got an early to pick your seats. You got discounts on merchandise. You got
bragging rights,
and the ability to be at special events with the ownership and with the players. So it was really the way to go. Like if you were going to buy season tickets, it was the way to go. And they've been big. We've had conversations with them. I have about being sure to take care of early adopters, people who jump in on this thing before they know fully what it is. Take good care of them. And that's kind of what they were doing.
Yeah.
They don't have the full schedule settled yet. COVID is what it is, and it's just messing with things. We're starting to get things settled here in San Antonio. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But even, the other locations, they're not sure yet what the schedule looks like. So if you're willing to put your money down early,
that's right.
They wanted to take good care of you. And so that's what they did with that flash sale. Then this Saturday, they released all tickets.
Right.
Dasher board tickets, which are more expensive.
$90.
$90 for season tickets, Dasher board tickets.
Yes.
So we got a really good deal.
For single game, they are, I want to say 20.
Okay.
And then the general admission were 15.
And that's right on that's where Cody Brooks is going to fall in your lap. Like those are those tickets.
If you're on Dasher boards, then hold on to your beer and make sure you're paying attention to what's going on the field.
Your Gunslinger beer, which will be for sale at the Rose Palace.
Yes.
So Dasher board tickets are available. Standing room tickets are available up in the area you were talking about. And then owner's box tickets, which I don't know. I don't have a lot of information. But have you heard more about?
I did talk to Jason about the owner's box.
Okay.
When we talked, it wasn't in reference to selling tickets for the owner's box. It was just a conversation of, oh, by the way, there's an owner's box and here's a picture of it. And look what's in, it's actually really nice. There's a full kitchen in there, and there's like to have bar service and stuff. So I want to say that there's some sort of food service or drink service included with it. I know the price on that. It's only season tickets. You cannot buy single game tickets for the owner's box. They're $400 a seat. Now, what that includes, I actually just moments ago sent a text over to the ownership to see if they can get details on that, and hopefully they'll answer here soon.
Yeah, we'll find out.
But just from that conversation where we were kind of just talking about the existence of the owner's box, it's, up elevated over the field, has a great view of the field. It's a pretty decent size, and it's a little fancy. It's kind of nice.
That's the place you want to be if you want to rub elbows with the big wigs.
Yeah.
That are not us, because we're going to be in a different box.
We'll be in another box.
Yeah, we'll be in the press
box that they lock and throw away the key for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will be on display, kind of like
Are you
animals in
going
a
to be able to
zoo.
drink in there, though?
Everybody wave at Philip and Leo. They're
There
up there
they
in the
are.
box.
If there's a sign that says "Don't feed the broadcasters," don't pay attention to it. Throw food at me. I'm okay with
Can
that.
you drink, though? That's the thing.
You don't wanna
Sure, why
drink.
not?
Drink
Okay.
when you're doing a broadcast. I don't know. All I've ever broadcast is high school football games,
Oh.
and there's no option to drink at a high school football game. so.
Okay, because I think with the other team, they
I'm
said
sorry.
you couldn't drink.
Let me rephrase.
Okay.
There's no legal opportunity to drink at a high school football game. I'm sure there's
Yes.
drinking that
I'm
goes
sure
on
that's going on.
at a high school football game. There's just
Yeah.
a legal opportunity to do so.
I saw nothing.
So season tickets are out. Seagull game tickets are out, and that means you need to go now.
Yes.
You need to go online now. The easiest way to get there is to go through their Facebook page.
Yeah, there's a link on there, and we've shared it too as well.
Yes, it's shared out on our page. It's shared out on the Facebook page. And you can even go to their website, but that link, by the way, guys, is broken. Gunslingers, Jason, Hector.
Is it?
That link? Yeah, I tried to use it just a few minutes ago and I couldn't navigate it.
Uh-oh.
So fix that link. And get your tickets for the Gunslingers, because 68 days. So when we're recording, it's 70 days.
Okay.
It's Monday night.
Yeah.
The episode will actually come out on Wednesday, so that's 2 more days. The first home game, and I don't think that'll be the first game of the season. I think the
No.
first game is going to be a road game, but we don't know that for sure yet. But the first home game is 68 days away,
That's March 29th.
March 29th.
Be here before you know it.
It will.
Just around the
It
corner.
will.
By the way, March 29th is a Monday night.
Monday,
As
Monday,
are
Monday, Monday.
All the
games.
games.
All home games will
Can
be
I get a
Monday
cheer for that?
night games.
We need to make sure
Remember that.
everybody
Everybody
knows.
knows
Yeah,
that.
It's
Monday
Monday
nights.
night football.
That's right.
Yeah, Monday night football.
It is Monday night football.
At
And
the
I
Rose
realize
Palace.
that makes things a little different for some folks. We're talking about 5 games. We're talking about 5 times you got to tell the boss, hey, I got to leave a little early today, or
That's
I'm not
right.
coming in on Monday.
Yeah.
5 times. It's not a big deal. Work a little late the rest of the week.
Yeah, if you can work like partial days, like
Yeah.
some
Work from
places-
home and leave early.
Yeah, you can-
Yeah, that's right. You're not going into the
Hello,
office
you're in
anyway.
COVID time anyway.
Just don't tell your boss you're going to a football game, because
Right.
that's probably not okay
I was
if
gonna
you're
say,
if you're
yeah.
working from home.
Or you could say, I have a slight headache. To be cautious, I'm going to work from home today.
Yeah.
There you go.
and then go get drunk at a football game to
Right.
make sure I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I think
You're
it'll work.
medicating. That's what you're doing. It's
And by that time, half the people will be
I mean,
vaccinated. right?
barbecue and beer makes everybody feel better, doesn't it?
Why
I mean,
not? Like, I'm willing
I
to.
think
I'm
that's
always
a
willing
cure.
to try that.
Barbecue,
Yeah.
beer, and football.
It may not make
Yeah.
me feel
a
better,
shot,
but
for sure.
who knows?
And you can say there's shots there. So not specifically, but there's shots at the game. So if you're feeling sick, get it. Like,
You talking?
Yeah, but I don't know that
shots.
there's gonna be like liquor.
in the tailgating, yes, sir,
Oh,
there will
well,
be.
and the
there you go.
tailgating,
Shout
Hello,
out.
there's
So-
going to be shots.
So tailgating will be allowed at the venue as of noon, even though
Yeah,
it's a Monday.
baby.
So if you can get out of work early and get out there, you
Man.
can tailgate.
Can
it
you
will be
imagine?
available.
Get off at
Oh,
lunchtime.
my God.
Drive to the Rose Palace. Set up the grill. We'll have lunch together. We'll have
Oh
Monday
my
lunch
God,
together.
I love it. I can already
May-
smell the
maybe,
barbecue.
Maybe you want to take like a half day on Monday and then a half day on Tuesday to recover Tuesday
Right.
morning.
That may be that may be necessary.
That's what Greg Nelson actually
Oh,
said
yeah.
on Facebook in our conversation. He's like, I'm worried more about Tuesdays.
Less about Monday, more about Tuesday. Yeah, it's Monday Night Football. That's just the way the schedule worked out. It's not a problem. It's just it's an opportunity to have something on Mondays that we're excited about.
You work
Because
around
Mondays
it.
stink.
Yeah,
Mondays
this will
are
just
awful.
make your
anyway.
Oh, yeah,
Monday
that's
better.
true.
You'll be excited.
This will make
about
your
it.
Monday better. All right, we're going to take a break real quick. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Brooke. She is a cheerleader
She is, yay!
for the Gunslingers.
Official Gunslinger Cheerleader.
And we're going to chat with Brooke. And then when we get done chatting with her, we've got more information. We've got information
Yes.
on the full Gunslingers
Yes, I have all
cheerleaders.
the names.
and more talk about the Gunslingers. So hang out with us for just a few minutes. You're listening to Smokin Gunz Podcast. We'll be right back. Well, 68 days till the first game.
That's not a lot.
No, It's just over 2 months. With the Smoking Guns podcast is going strong. The Gunslingers are coming with information. We're going to be talking about it all day.
Left and right.
Yeah, everywhere. So much has happened in the 2 weeks since we recorded last.
I missed y'all. I didn't see y'all last time.
If you want to be a part of what we're doing, if you have a business, if you own a business, if you have a buddy that has a business, if you just have a favorite place that you go and hang out, bar, restaurant, whatever it is,
food truck
that you think fits in really well with the Smoking Guns podcast and with the Gunslingers, now is the time to get them on board as sponsors of the Smoking Guns podcast.
the best time.
Jump on the train now because the wheels are turning. And
Email us at smokin, no G, guns with a Z, pod, P-O-D, at gmail.com, and we will find a way to get your business involved. We've got packages that are just one spot at one part during the show, and those are really affordable. Yep. And we've got things all the way to putting your name on the top of the show. Woo-hoo. The Smoking Guns podcast brought to you by your business. Yep. We can do any of those things. We have all of those available right now, but we only have a certain amount of slots that we're going to fit people into. We're not going to chock the show full of ads. That doesn't seem like any fun for anybody. We are the exclusive. We are going to be the exclusive live stream of the Gunslingers. So you will be a part of the Smoking Guns family as we do that as well. They're selling their own ad time, but we will be talking about the podcast during the games, and we will be talking about the games during the podcast. It's a back and forth kind of thing.
It's a win-win.
So get your business right here in this spot that you're hearing right now. This could be your ad instead of our ad.
We could be talking about you right now.
That's right.
Smokin, no G, guns with a Z, pod, P-O-D, at gmail.com, and we'll get you all set up. Speaking of our sponsors, our great sponsors, let's talk about Teardrop Pepper Co.
Oh, love it.
Let's talk about their two incredible flavors. They have the Supreme Serrano. That's the new one.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's purple.
Yeah, purple label.
Bottle. Yeah. The
green salsa,
green
purple
sauce.
label.
Purple label.
Purple label. And then there's the Golden Habanero, which is just their first one out. And what a way to come out with a flagship of your brand. Because it's amazing.
Dolores just made some ribs the other day, and I just poured that all over them.
So good.
Sounds good.
Tailgating is coming.
Yes.
Now that we know where we're going to be out at the Rose Palace, now that we know that tailgating is going to be a big part of what we do with Gunslingers, you're going to be making your burgers and your ribs, and you're going to be asking us to swing by your spot and taste them. And I got to tell you, you're going to get a better, judgment. What's the word I'm looking for?
Taste
report.
From
us. If you're using some Golden Habanero or Supreme Serrano from Teardrop Pepper Co.
Oh yeah, we'll be all over it.
I can see a recipe coming. Who had the best recipe during the tailgate with that sauce?
Oh, that might be good.
Right?
Might be a good way to go.
That might be good.
You can get it by going online. You can't walk into the store and get it.
Not yet.
They're not there yet. But you can go online to teardroppepperco.com. Use the offer code ARENA, ARENA, and save 10% on your order. Gets here fast. You're going to love it. Don't just order one bottle. Order enough to get you through a month. So that's like 6. You're going to need a lot. Teardroppepperco.com. Use the offer code ARENA. Also check them out online on all of the social media outlets. That's Instagram and Facebook and the Twitter. They're on the Twitter at Teardrop Pepper Co. And you can check them out and stay on top of all of the things that they're doing over there. TeardropPepperco.com. Give them a try now.
Hey, guess who we have on the podcast today?
Who we got, RC?
We have a cheerleader! Yay! I got my pom-poms. Awesome. I can shake them. I wish we were live.
RC I'm very excited about the noisemakers being
Thank
on.
you. I'm glad
excited.
You are.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a cheerleader, and her name is Brooke. Hi, Brooke. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Hey, Brooke.
So tell us a little bit. How did this whole thing start? How did you find out about the auditions, and why did you want to try out to be a gunslinger cheerleader?
Well, funny enough, it actually the coach for the Gunslingers was actually the cheerleading coach when I was in high school.
What? What high school did you go to?
Yeah, I went to Roosevelt. I went to Theodore Roosevelt High School.
Oh,
and
okay.
She was a cheerleader for there.
Uh-huh.
And so she kind of stayed in touch with some of my friends that went there. And then obviously word got around and it got back to me.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I love dance. I love being on the field. I love football games. So, I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer for me to join.
Oh, that's awesome. I was a little disappointed because I was hoping to go to the live auditions, but then they were kind of changed to the virtual. So how did that work? Can you explain that?
So originally we were gonna go live. They were gonna teach us a few routines, give us a few minutes to take a break and practice, and then just perform it as usual.
Uh-huh.
But the way that they did it since of COVID and everything, we were virtually sent a private link for the YouTube videos of her dancing, and we had to learn it on our own and then submit our audition videos.
You know, I was going to audition, but what got me was the two-piece. I couldn't do the two-piece, and so that was it. That's the only reason why I didn't try out, because I could have been on the team too. You could have been my co-cheerleader. I could do everything else. Yeah, no problem. It was the two-piece that got me.
So doing it virtually,
splits and all that.
I could do the splits if I stretched long enough, and I can even do a cartwheel.
doing that virtually, Brooke, did that make it easier or harder for you? Did that make you more nervous that it was virtualized and rather than doing it in person, or was that kind of an advantage?
It was definitely an advantage because this way I can actually take as long as I needed to make sure that I got it perfect before I sent it in. And when it's live, you have one shot, and if you mess up, then that's it.
Gotcha.
Got it. Now, did you know any of the other girls that were trying out?
I do. I know Sierra. Sierra's my best friend.
What?
So we tried out
sponsored
together.
her. Did you know that?
Yeah, she literally told me right after.
Wow. Now,
That's awesome.
Did you participate in those? I think there were like Zoom tryouts or something like that, or anything like that. Wasn't she going to have those Zoom kind of?
Oh, they were like advanced classes,
like
or.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Oh,
basically, she just went over just skills and basic stuff that we would need to know before entering the tryouts and everything like that.
now not to sound facetious, but what skills do you need? Like, besides the splits, what kind of skills do you need to try out to be a cheerleader?
All your dance type of leaps, like a front leap. Obviously, besides your splits too, you need like a disc, a calypso, like just dance technical terms.
Okay, well, maybe it's a good thing I didn't try out because I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know. I was like, I don't know what to talk about, but it's just like the names of all the different leaps that we do in dance.
Okay, good. And so how long has it been since the last time you were on like a cheerleading squad or a dance team?
A team like this,
Mm-hmm.
the last time I danced like this was in high school.
Wow.
And then once I left high school, I joined another team, but it was primarily hip hop. So, I mean, it's kind of muscle memory, so it's not really difficult for me to transition back into this type of dancing.
Uh-huh.
But it's fun.
Oh, good. Now, do you by any chance know the 411 on the costume or what they're wearing?
I don't. I wish I did. I want to be in the loop so bad.
Yeah, us too, believe me. So we're just going to...
No, I don't know yet.
Okay, well, I'm hoping it's red, white, and blue. I think those are the colors of the team, so that's what I'm thinking at least.
I think so too.
Now, we're going to ask you just some questions that maybe the fans want to know. So what's your favorite pizza topping?
My favorite pizza topping?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm kind of weird, I guess. I'm a little bit weird. My favorite pizza toppings are chicken and spinach.
Ooh, chicken and spinach from where?
Yeah. Domino's.
Domino's. Okay. What about your top two songs on your phone list or your song list?
Ooh, top two songs. I think right now my top two songs are "Say So" by Doja Cat and "Rings" by Ariana Grande.
Oh, cool.
I think are my top two ones.
Leo, did you have any questions for her?
No, not that I can think of. You had it covered. Put me on the spot. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, so what would you tell the fans out here, to the Gunslingers, about to get them excited about the football games?
I mean, we're coming out hot, so be ready. That's it, basically.
That sounds good to me. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and talking to us. Again, congratulations on making the Gunslingers team. I don't think we have a name yet, and even if you know it, don't say it yet. But
They're keeping that real tight.
Real tight. But we're super excited about this. I have my tambourines. I got pom poms. I'm ready to go. So if you need any pointers, I'm the person to call. Okay, I can't do any of those kicks.
Definitely be calling you.
For sure. And then maybe on the side, you guys can show me some of the moves, and I can start, doing those moves in the stands.
Definitely got you.
Well, thank you, Brooke, so much. Have a great day.
No problem. You too. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, Smokin Gunz Podcast. Philip Higginbotham, Leo Yamas, R.C. Woods. We just got done talking to Brooke.
Woohoo!
One of our Gunslingers cheerleaders.
That's right. Just
RC.
one.
I can't get over how excited she is.
I got my pom-poms. Can you hear them? Woo!
One of how many? Because they've released, they have the team now. They have the cheerleading team set.
I know of 5 girls that made the team. Now, what I don't know is if Taylor, which is the coach, is she going to be part of the team, or is she just going to be coach? So it could be 6, but for sure 5. Okay, so for sure. And then y'all can cheer after each name like it's a real game. Okay, I'm going to shake my tambourine. So we have Diamond. Woo! Brooke. Woo! Woo! Santera.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Now we got it. Okay. Madison. Taylor. And there, of course, everybody already knows Sierra. Woo!
And Sierra was our.
Yeah, she's ours.
She was ours.
She was the one that we
Belongs to
sponsored.
us.
That's right. She can only cheer for us. Now, I forgot that when we met her at the Iron Cactus, when we had the meet and greet with some of the players. I mean,
something that was available to our Patreon.
Yes,
our patrons.
Yes, I know that Herman was going to come out and make it, but then something happened and he couldn't come. So we had Ray, the photographer, who came out.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Raj from the Coach's Corner, and then we also had our lovable Steve-O.
Steve-O.
Yeah, Steven.
Oh wait,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
the super fan.
The super fan. Yes.
Where's he been?
I don't know.
I talk to him all the time on Facebook, but not about gunslinger
He
stuff.
was there with us.
Stephen Canto.
Very
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, so we had a big, it was a good crowd, put it that way, and we had drinks, and they had my favorite swirl, the frozen margarita swirl with sugar on top.
How did he find out about this?
I invited him.
Oh, okay.
Put it out
Hello.
there. So yeah, if it's just beer and us, then he's got lots going on. But if it's beer and us and cheerleaders, Steven's
Hello.
there.
And it's RC.
Fair enough.
Come on.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Come on. And so during that time when we were talking, asking questions, I had mentioned, hey, when Sierra makes the team, right?
Because at that point we didn't know.
We didn't know, right? That her and I would make a TikTok.
Okay, has this happened?
Not yet. She's working on one that is our style, which I didn't even know we had a style, but apparently we have a style. Maybe it's like grandma and daughter. I don't know. But, she said she's picking out a TikTok that's our style, and then we're going to be doing that soon.
Are you ready for TikTok stardom, RC?
I am so ready. Let me tell you. I want this to go viral. And I told her I could do a cartwheel, so I don't know if she's going to put that in there, and the splits. So
Interesting.
you might see that. But it was fun. We had a really good time at the
I cannot do either of those things.
Me neither.
Well, oh well. That's
More power
why,
to you, RC.
That's why I'm the cheerleader. Woo! Now, I told you I couldn't make the team because of the two-piece thing. But
Right.
Yeah. But,
Well, yeah, and we heard you talk to Brooke some about that.
Yeah. So, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm super excited about the team. I've talked to Taylor. She's the one that gave me the names. She didn't really say much about the name of the cheerleaders nor the uniform. But that's something definitely I'm going to work on.
Top secret.
Top secret.
Top secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we'll. It's good. It's good to have information to look forward to.
For sure.
If they just dumped everything all at once, then there would be
There'd
this
be nothing
long
to-
amount
yeah.
of time
Right.
before we ever got to see any of this. So I like the idea of teasing it out.
I just got some breaking news
You
information.
did?
I got a response.
Yeah,
If
so you got a response
Oh,
on this
woo!
owner's box thing that we we're
Yes.
talking about in the first sec. Okay,
I
that's
do.
amazing.
All right.
I have a breakdown of what this all entails.
I'm
So,
ready for it.
All right,
Drum
so
roll,
this
please.
is the owner's box. This is the perks of being in the owner's box as they stand right
yes.
now.
So
Okay.
now the price of this $5 is $400, right? A seat.
It's
now,
not cheap,
A seat.
Not cheap, but remember, this is for the season.
right?
So
That's
if you break
all
that
5
down,
games.
it's supposed to be 5 games. I know they've released a schedule for 4 so far, and the 5th one is still being worked on.
Mm-hmm.
But if you average, 400 divided by 5, that comes
somewhere
out
in
to
the 70 to 75 range, right?
that's
Is
80,
that right?
I think it's
7
80
times 5
bucks.
is
Oh, okay,
8
$80
times 5 is 40. Yeah, so
Okay, there you go.
it's
Yeah,
80 bucks a
$80.
seat. But,
Okay.
but listen to what you get.
All right.
So first of all, sorry for all you minors, you must be 21 or over in
Ooh,
order
okay.
to get this.
Check. That's me.
So I don't get to go.
No, you get
Yeah,
to
you're
go.
under.
You're double that.
Yes, no juveniles.
Mentally, I am under 21. We all know that.
They're not going by the mental age. They're going about what's on the birth certificate.
So you get a signed team poster.
Ooh.
You
Okay.
get 40% Gunslinger merchandise discount
Wow,
at the home games.
that's
Not
almost-
20% like the rest of the season
Ah,
ticket.
okay. That's almost
40%.
50%. That's awesome.
Exclusive invitation to events and more, just like the others. The players meet and greet.
Nice.
1 hour early entry to all home games.
Oh, that makes a difference.
And you got to be in there. And you're going to want to be in there an hour early because your first they are going to be serving food and drinks in the owner's box,
Nice.
specifically for the.
And by drinks, we
Attendees.
mean sodas and water, it looks like.
Well,
It's
no. There
non-alcoholic
are
drinks.
going to be
What?
alcoholic drinks available, and the first one is free. After that,
Oh.
you do have to pay for the
Oh, so you get
for the-
you get a drink
one free alcoholic beverage,
token, a drink
Yeah.
ticket.
and then other beverages are free though.
Oh.
The other
Oh, like the
beverages are
sodas
free
and
while,
the
while
water.
you're there,
Yeah.
and the food. It's gonna. I guess they're gonna have like a spread there.
Appetizers, maybe?
Yeah, it just says food.
Okay.
That's gonna be included as well. So you get to eat and you get to drink the entire game if you want.
Rub
but only
elbows with the
alcoholic
bigwigs. The
beverage. Yeah.
owners will be up
You're sitting
there.
right up there next to the
Wave at the monkeys in the broadcast booth.
yeah.
Because
throw us-
I
throw
got
us
to
a
imagine
banana.
it's right next door. Like I've got
It's
to
probably
imagine it's
close
right
to,
next.
they're close
to
by.
you.
Yep.
Now, how many people can fit in one of those
So
boxes?
those tickets are limited and
Oh.
Very limited.
They're very
Oh.
limited, it says. And even in the information, this little breakdown that they sent me right now, it doesn't specify exactly how many.
Okay.
But it does mention that it is very limited.
So if you want to see the Gunslingers games in luxury,
Luxury for sure.
that's the luxury spot to see them.
So and think about it, $80. What other football game or sporting event
That's
can you
true.
go to, spend $80 and get all of that?
And get food, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
No
yeah, everything for that matter. You may go, hey, I'm going to go with my general admission ticket, which is fine. That's great.
yeah.
But if you honestly think you're going to do the game upright for less than $80 a game anyway,
You know you're going to
Yeah.
pay all that and all the stuff for the
once
tailgating.
you go get your Gunslinger beer and once you go get
Yes.
your nachos and whatever, $80
That's
per
at
person
least 50.
is
At least 50,
You know,
yeah.
I have a feeling those seats are going to sell out pretty quick. They're not going to last because if
No.
they're limited,
Yeah.
then they're going to
No.
go pretty fast. Once this gets out and people know what it's all entailed, it's a good deal.
It
a
is.
really good deal.
It is. Great way to spend your Monday night.
Do you know if there's a parking fee or a parking pass or is parking free?
We don't know about parking yet. We haven't
That's a good question though, right?
released. They haven't released any of the parking information yet. But based on our conversation last show with Jason, I am guessing, and this is I have no inside information whatsoever, that you're going to be paying about $10 to park.
Yeah, I got that impression too. He kind of, without saying it, that's where we were.
Like I say, they haven't released that. That is
We'll
not
see.
insider information. Jason's probably mad at me right now, staring at his podcasting device, his phone, and being like, "Why did you say that?" But my guess is that you're going to be paying about $10 per park.
I heard it. He just threw his phone.
That's possible. It's entirely possible.
I'm
It will
just
not be
saying
the
'cause-
first time I've made Jason throw his phone either. So.
Because sometimes people bring a trailer, and so they have to know: do I pay for one? Or do I pay for 2 parking spots? So it's a valid question, especially in tailgating.
That's fair. I think if you're taking up 2 spots, if you're bringing a
Right.
vehicle and a trailer, you need to be prepared to pay for 2 parking spots.
All right.
That would be my guess. I think that's the way it is anywhere. I think if you go to Alamo Dome and you've got a trailer, you're paying $40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, if you're taking up more than one spot, you've got to pay for more than one spot. That's what they're selling you as a spot.
I'm just asking for all the tailgaters out there because these people want to know. They want the 411.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So all of that information is available now, and the owner's box sounds pretty nice.
It does, and I'm being told it's 15 seats. That's coming from Lolis. I don't know what her source is, but she seems to be pretty well connected. So
Hey.
Oh, nice.
I trust her.
So 15 seats. You need to jump on that.
Yeah,
Those won't last.
nope.
And it's a good deal. I think it's a fairly good deal. I mean, when you're talking about your drinks
The drinks alone right there. Yeah.
and food and getting covered, watching the game from the best vantage point.
I think the food's going to be good too because the owners, they like to eat.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. I mean,
They brought us food.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to be eating what they eat. So when we say food, don't think it's going to be like, gas station hot dogs. I doubt it because they're going to be eating what
Mini
you
corn
guys are
dogs
eating.
no, that's not what we're talking about. Lots of good
Jason just threw his phone again.
Yeah, probably so. They gave up the mini corn dog idea. Now we can't serve those. No, that's lots of good information. I'm excited about the Rose Palace. I will make no secret, and I would tell Jason if he were sitting right here with us. Did it feel like a little bit of a letdown at first to be like, that's where we're going to be? I mean, yeah, it did. Like we were talking about Freeman. We were talking about the Alamo Dome.
Yeah.
The Rose Palace, a rodeo arena was kind of like, well, that's not what I really thought it was going to be. But then
It grows on you.
what more perfect place for Gunslingers football
it
than
fits.
a rodeo
it fits.
arena?
It
I think
fits.
Like
fits.
it, the whole thing just makes sense.
It
Yeah,
does.
we have to come up with a nickname for the home field. I think we touched on it last. I don't remember if we were talking
Unless
on
they
air
sell the
or off
naming
air.
rights, and then
but-
we don't need one because it'll be
But just like
named.
a term of
Like that- like
endearment
we call
for
the
it. Like we
hideout?
call this the hideout.
Right.
That could be,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, the corral. Something
corral.
around that line.
Yeah.
Thinking of
The fort.
yeah.
Defend the fort. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not really gunslingers though.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a gunfight at the OK Corral.
Okay, corral. Yep. I hear you.
One of the great.
I looked up. I googled what do you call the actual place where they go for the shootout, the duels? Like,
Yeah.
is there a term for that location? But I didn't find anything. I don't think there is. They
Yeah, 'cause
just-
it's always
they just
out
did
in
it
the middle of
wherever.
the street.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
street. So we call it the street,
That's straight.
The street.
the calle.
You guys know, and if you listen to the show, you know my love for Jeff Pearlman,
Oh, yes.
who
Yes.
wrote the book about the USFL. He's also written one about the Cowboys.
You had the interview.
We interviewed him for the Command Post podcast. Great interview. And he wrote a book about Brett Favre that's called Gunslinger, actually,
okay.
which is interesting. He's watching, I follow his Twitter, and he's watching Westerns right now. And I highly recommend it to him, and several other people did. The greatest Western of all time, in my opinion. Tombstone.
Yeah.
He watched it, and he didn't like it. He was like, I'm not
didn't?
impressed. And I'm like, Jeff, I may not read your books anymore. Like, this is.
How could you
This is
not
rough.
How can you not love Doc Holliday?
He said he just didn't get it. He's like, I don't get why this is such a big deal.
I got two.
So he's wrong. I
One
mean,
for each
obviously.
of you.
yeah, 2 guns, 1 for each of you is quite possibly the greatest line in any Western ever.
Yeah. No.
Maybe he needs to
It's
disappointed.
sad.
Disappointed.
Sad. I'm a big fan, or I used to be a big fan of Jeff Pearlman,
And that just blew
but
it
that
for
just
you?
hurts it.
Oh, my.
Like, that really drags it
Your
down.
world has been rocked.
It has.
That and then finding out that Die Hard is a Christmas movie
Wow.
all around the same time. I feel for you.
No, no,
Like, no,
I had to bring
no.
that up.
nope.
Not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Okay, we'll move
Not
on.
gonna- we'll move on.
We're gonna just agree to
I'm
disagree.
still trying to think what's a good nickname for where we're gonna play it.
Well, we'll come up with something. And
Yeah.
if you have ideas out there in
We would
the
love to hear
posse,
it.
we need
Yeah.
some of that. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and take one more break.
Okay.
When we come back, we will wrap up some Gunslingers talk, but I want to talk some general football stuff too.
Okay.
Because lots of stuff is going on, and I have opinions. And like we talked about,
You have opinions?
believe it or not,
Oh,
I
my
have a
God.
few opinions.
All right, no.
And I want to discuss some of these opinions and rile up. I've already riled people up on Twitter. I'm ready to rile people up on the podcast and
Okay,
get
let's
them
do it.
mad at me and thinking that I am insane, because I am a little. So we'll be right back in just a minute. We'll talk some more Gunslingers, and we'll talk about some general football stuff right after this. Smokin Gunz Podcast is excited to offer you a way to be a part of our team. We've already been talking about it. We've already mentioned these people a couple of times.
That's right.
But we have our sponsors, which are businesses that jump on board, and then we have our team.
Family. That's right.
Yeah, our team that jumps on board, and they are our patrons. These are folks that went to patreon.com, Smokin Gunz Podcast, or Smokin Gunz Pod. So that's Smokin, no G, Guns with a Z, Pod, at patreon.com. And they signed up to support the show at $5, $10, or $20. And I'm not going to say that they know everything we know about what's going on in Gunslinger world, but I will say that they know a lot more than the average person
Yes.
knows about what's going on with the Gunslinger.
They are informed because they got a direct tie-in.
Yeah,
Like they were invited to meet the cheerleader that we sponsored.
absolutely. They were. And we've gotten information to them about tickets, about the commercials, all of those things that have happened over it, to the point that the team now tells us, as they tell us new information, hey, here's something that your Patreons
Right.
need to know.
I love it.
Yep.
That's the kind of insight you can have and the kind of pipeline you could have. And there's more and more news coming out almost daily at this point, certainly every week, but day to day things are changing. And we're posting that information first to our Patreons before it ever goes out to the general public. So if you want to be in the know, if you want to be one of the first people there,
The cool kids.
if you can, go to patreon.com, SmokinGunzPod, and sign up at the $5, the $10, or the $20 level a month. Help us make this show go, and get the inside track on all the information.
Get the 411.
Smokin Gunz Podcast, Philip Higginbotham, Leo Yamas, and RC Woods hanging out, talking about football, talking about Gunslingers football.
Yep.
And we're going to talk some more about Gunslingers football. Have you been out to practice since they've gotten restarted? You've been out a couple of times.
I've been out
haven't
a
you?
couple times, but not this past week. It was a really busy week for me, and I could not make it out to either one. I felt really bad about it.
So the biggest thing that I made out once 2 weeks ago
Yeah. I went the last the 2
on
weeks
a-
Try to
before
go
that.
this week.
on a Thursday. I'm not going to be able to get out there this week.
I'll be there
Wednesdays
this
and
week.
Thursdays are both taken up for me this week. But one of the things, we got a chance to see Nate and Mace, who is
We
a
did.
new quarterback.
Ooh.
Yep.
Smaller than I expected him to be. I'll be really honest with you.
Yeah, but he made a really nice throw right off the bat on the
No, he's making
When
some
they did
great
the-
throws.
yep.
He's working his way into it. Is he on the same level as David? Not
Olvera?
not
Yeah.
yet.
no.
But he may get there. Like, he's just learning the system. David spent some time in it, but I was surprised that Nate was a smaller guy. I expected more of a prototypical kind of quarterback size, and he's probably, what would you say, 5'11", 6 feet,
Yeah, somewhere around
160,
there.
170. I mean, he's
Not a real big tall
No.
guy, but I mean, you
But-
know he's there because he's definitely vocal.
I was about to say, as for his size, he may be one of the smaller quarterbacks I've seen, but he's got one of the bigger mouths I've ever heard.
Really? Okay.
We were commenting like he's fiery and
It is the prototype. I hope he listens, because I'd love to have him on the show. And
Yeah.
we were going to have David on.
been
we're gonna have
talking to
David
him.
soon.
Um,
Yep.
And we're gonna have David on
Maybe we
soon.
have
I'd
a-
love to have Nate on soon.
Maybe we have the quarterback room in at the
And
same
so-
time. Both guys. Yeah.
And so I hope Nate's listening. I mean, no disrespect. I'm not trying to rile you up, but it is the prototypical, like, you watch sports movies and football movies, and the new hotshot guy comes in that nobody knows and nobody really, and he's got a big mouth on him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
we've all seen that character archetype.
He wants to come out and make an impression.
Like
yeah.
Nate does.
Yes.
He immediately makes an impression on you. And my impression was, man, that guy can talk. Now, he can back it up some too.
He was. Yeah. My impression was let's see when how much he's talking after that first big hit, because he was really kind of poking at the defense.
But I like it. He's
No,
confident.
I like it.
He's got the confidence. That's not a bad thing. And it's tough. Like to walk into a team where the team dynamic is already set up and you are vying for or attempting to vie for the leadership position, the unquestioned leader of the team on the field.
Yeah, there's
the
definitely
quarterback.
gotta be
competition. Yeah.
That'd be hard.
To be that guy and step in while all of these other guys have developed a relationship with one another. They know each other. He steps in needing to make himself known, needing to put himself out there. And I think he's doing a great job of that in the little bit that I've seen him. And it's okay. Like vocal guys are okay. I'm okay with somebody that's vocal.
You need him. Yeah. Armand, he's definitely vocal out there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. But it was very interesting because he was not what I expected in both. I was expecting a prototypical kind of quarterback that was quieter and kind of got his job done. And that's not what I saw at all. And I was like, hey, I don't hate this.
You know what it is?
Fine.
He used to play linebacker.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played linebacker some time ago. So
that makes a difference.
That makes a difference
Makes
in your
a huge
mentality
difference.
for sure. So he's quarterback, but he's got some experience playing linebacker at, I think he played in high school and some at the college level at the linebacker position before they moved him over to. Now I've never heard of someone moving from linebacker to quarterback, but apparently he's a great athlete because he's done a lot of special teams work and stuff like that. Looking into it, I saw he did quite a bit of things.
It makes a lot of sense in one way, and that is linebackers typically are the defensive play callers and leaders.
Yeah.
So you kind of fill that same role, just on the opposite side of the ball.
Yeah.
So,
He has a lot of followers from Washington.
yeah.
A lot. And then I think he's here with his girlfriend, maybe fiance. I'm not sure. I kind of gave them some suggestions to kind of travel, get to know San Antonio. So they've been listening to me. They went to the missions. They went to the cathedral. They went to the tea gardens.
Yeah, it's kind of tough right now to like send people out to places in San Antonio because
I
some
know.
places won't let you in in
Right.
San Antonio.
So welcome, y'all.
But we're excited to have Nate on board. It gives us another option at quarterback. Between David and Nate, I feel like we're good. I know we've talked a little bit about being kind of unsure, not because of David or anything, but we needed another option there because you don't know that one quarterback is going to take you through a whole season. Injuries happen, things pop up.
Oh yeah.
So you need a second quarterback. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, there's something NFL wise we're going to get to in a minute that I want to point out that I said a while back, and you, sir,
What?
did not agree
He's
with.
pointing
Oh yeah,
fingers at you. Pointing fingers
did not
at
agree
you.
with me, and now I want to see if you feel any differently.
Okay.
So Nate and David are taking care of that. Aside from that, just the team seems to be, in the little bit of time I've seen practice, the team seems to be gelling very well together, but on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. The defense was ahead of the offense for quite some time, and now it's kind of
Sure.
like they've caught up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of back and forth going between the two units, and it's fun to watch for sure.
My absolute favorite thing in the world is to watch the relationship between what I think is the leader of the defense and Cody Brooks. And maybe
Absolutely.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
sure.
You talked about vocal linebackers.
Yeah. Watching his relationship with the defensive coordinator, James,
Oh yeah.
and the way they are on the same side, but you couldn't tell. Like you would never know that if you watch them relate to one another because they bust on each other more than anybody else on the
Oh,
field.
and then bring Coach Tony Hernandez in it.
Coach Hernandez is an instigator.
Yeah.
He is
Yes, he
so
is.
good at instigating little things and then just stepping out and letting two other people fight.
It reminds me of that shootout scene from The Office where they're standing there with their finger guns at each other. The standoff. Yeah. That's practice every time with Coach Hernandez, James Stolt, and
Cody.
Cody, yeah.
And even on social media, like Cody and James will get into it.
Oh, yeah.
Like this relationship that's building between, like I say, what I would think of as the leader of the defense, the guy that is getting the information from the defensive coordinator, and then the defensive coordinator himself, being, I don't know, I don't want to call it contentious because it's not, but they just bust on each other all the time.
Constantly.
Very
hate,
interesting
hate,
to
love.
watch, very fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
And then you're right. Tony Hernandez just injects himself into those situations as much as he can. Just for fun. Like he doesn't do it for any other reason than he's just having fun.
He always has that
Just for
smile
fun.
on his face, like as he's walking away, like
He likes to stick his foot in someone's butt like at least 2 or 3 times at practice.
Oh, yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy who steps on the ant pile just to watch the ants go around.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see him being that kind of guy. I love seeing William back out there, Boss Hog.
Yes, I was going to talk about that.
Oh man.
It's good to
You
see
see him
He
pushing
looks
the truck
good.
And just,
Oh my God.
So if you follow William,
Boss Hog.
yeah, Boss Hog, if you follow him on social media, there was a post this weekend of him pushing a fully loaded moving truck.
It's in neutral,
through a
obviously,
parking
but
lot.
Yeah, he's pushing it.
Yeah, it's in neutral, but he's pushing it out of the way so that it can get out of traffic. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, if you listen to the show, but I can at times be a bit sarcastic.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And I commented on the post and said, hey,
Wouldn't it be easier?
maybe it's just me, but it seems like if you start up the truck and put it in gear, that would work better. Turns out there was something wrong with the
Yeah.
transmission. So he was pushing it into a parking spot,
No problem. I don't need
fully
a tow truck.
loaded.
You just
Yeah.
need a Boss Hog.
That is ridiculous. Like there's something ridiculous about that to me.
That's funny.
And that's a guy you want on your line.
And he
Yeah, we
is. He's
have
on
him.
our line.
Watch out for the other guys.
So the team seems to be gelling together well. They've got 68 days till their first home game, and I think they've got less time till their first game. I honestly,
They start on the road.
I think they will start on the road the week before the 29th. So, whatever that weekend is before the 29th is the middle
something.
of March, and that's what we've been told.
Yeah. That means
Is
we'll
that
got
it
some
will be
work
the
to
middle
do.
of the year, middle of March? Yeah, we might be on the road for our first game. But they're coming together, they're gelling together, and they've got about 2 months before all of this starts to kick off and we start seeing Gunslingers football. So that's Gunslingers football. But let's talk about football.
All right, let's do it.
Let's start with the absolute dud of a national championship game. I love football. I love all football. I watch games that I have no interest in whatsoever. I will watch Akron versus Cincinnati, which I have I don't care
gonna say,
nothing
why?
about. But if that's what's on,
You'll
I'll
watch
watch
it.
You
it.
watch it. You turn this one off.
I turn this game off.
Yeah.
Like
why
I
not?
could not watch this game anymore.
Ohio State they didn't have a prayer.
No. From the beginning.
Most people
Like,
knew that coming in. Yeah.
Alabama just had the game won as they stepped on the field, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Now, can that be fixed? I don't know.
Nah. Yeah.
But I will tell
There's a
you
lot
that
there.
I am firmly in the camp at this point that we need an 8-team playoff system. Because I don't know that the 3 other teams were the best 3 teams in the country. And I don't know that there couldn't have been a better matchup for Alabama. I think Alabama would have beaten anybody in college football.
I think so too. Yeah.
But I don't know that A&M couldn't have matched up better a second time around. I don't know that, I don't know. I would feel better about one more round of college football playoffs, an 8-team system. It just seems to make the most sense to me. And they're going to make money on it. So there's no reason for the NCAA to stop this. 4 teams is okay, but the problem we're running into is it's always the same 6 teams in those 4 spots.
Seems to be. Yeah.
An 8-team system opens up. And you know what? If you have 8, then you pick the best 7. And if there is a mid-major, that's basketball terminology, but one of those mid-major conferences
Play in.
that has gone undefeated like Cincinnati did this year, throw them
Gotcha.
in. You throw them in an 8-team
in there.
playoff because they're only you pick
them in the
7
dark horse,
and you
yeah.
throw them in, and then they get their opportunity. And you know what? You may have a great story come out of that.
Yeah.
You may have a Cincinnati Browns kind of story come out of that where this team shouldn't be doing what they're doing, and they are anyway, which is funny because it was Cincinnati and Cleveland Browns.
What's that team in Florida a couple of years ago where they declared themselves the national champions? And I think they got their own-
UCF?
yeah.
Is that Central Florida?
Because they were undefeated.
Because they were
didn't
undefeated.
get- yeah.
You throw those teams in and you give them a chance because they deserve a chance. If you beat everybody on your schedule, like you and I and everybody that watches football know that Cincinnati is not going to match up against A&M or Alabama or, but they might have matched up well against Notre Dame the way that worked out.
Yeah.
Why not? I just think more slots makes more sense. It's one extra round. It's going to make more money for NCAA, and you get rid of look, there's always going to be arguments about this team should have been in. If you put 4 teams in the playoffs, somebody's going to always argue about the 5th team.
You're never going to make everyone happy.
Right.
8 teams, and you want to know how I know this? We have 68 teams in NCAA college basketball. Make the tournament, and there's always arguments about who got left out. 68 teams.
Yeah.
And there's arguments about who got left out. So you're always going to have that argument, and I get that. But the fact that we have the same 4, 5, 6 teams every year playing for the national championship
gets
just
stale.
gets stale. Yeah. And the way you can fix that is by opening up more slots and giving us 4 more games. It means we get 4 more quality college football games.
Right.
Who's okay? Who's not okay with that?
That's nobody.
Yeah.
Like there shouldn't be anybody that's not okay with that.
Right.
So that's college football. And in the NFL, there's lots of stories going on.
Yeah. Tom Brady's still out there.
Oh, I hate that.
Speaking of,
Go away, Tom Brady.
I know. I
since
don't want
what
him
was
to
it,
win.
1997? I read this on Facebook. I forget who shared it, but I thought it was kind of interesting and funny.
This is not
Since
interesting. This is
1990
neither interesting nor funny.
You know where I'm going with this.
I do.
Since 1997, Tom Brady has been to 1 NFC championship,
That's correct.
or going to be in 1 NFC championship game. And the Dallas Cowboys have been to none in that time. And Tom Brady has been in the NFC for 1 year.
You know, it costs nothing to mind your own business.
I read that and it made me chuckle. It made me feel a little bit happier about the fact that Tom Brady's there.
Yeah, Tom Brady's in the NFC Championship game, the first player since Joe Montana to take a team to both conference championship games. Of course, he took Joe Montana took the San Francisco 49ers to the conference game.
Kansas City Chiefs.
And then the Kansas City Chiefs. He got to the AFC Championship game, never got to the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. However, Tom Brady doing what Joe Montana does seems like the way things go. Like, that's the way things go. We also saw, this was last night for us. If it's Wednesday, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, just a few nights ago, Drew Brees throws 3 interceptions.
And that's going to be his last game.
Probably going to be his last game. He hasn't
I can
definitively come out and said that, but it just seems like
There were some reports or some soundbite of him telling, what's his name, the other quarterback. He says,
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, he said, this is your team now. I doubt that, by the way. I don't think
know
there's
that
any
it is
chance
Jameis
they go with
Winston,
Jameis Winston.
but-
Yeah.
Well, I know that when he was leaving and going into the locker, he just took one look back at
Right.
the field, and that to me was like, that's it. That's his last game.
That was like Ben Roethlisberger sitting on the bench by
Crying.
himself at the
And-
end, shedding a tear.
Well,
Yeah.
and spending 2 hours on the
Same
field
look.
with his family afterwards.
Yep.
There was a big deal last year when the Cowboys finished their season and everybody knew Jason Garrett wasn't coming back. They had not officially announced anything, but Jason Garrett and his family walked around on the field for hours. And you just got that feeling with Brady or with Breeze. Spend some time with
Wish
Tom
it was
Brady.
Yes, me too.
Here's the thing about Drew Brees. Like, I'm old enough to remember when Drew Brees played for the Chargers.
Yeah.
They let him go.
Stupid.
They released Drew Brees because they wanted Phillip Rivers. Because they wanted to draft a new quarterback, I guess.
I mean, Phillip Rivers is good, but
But he didn't do any more than
Drew Brees.
Brees has done.
Exactly.
At that point, now remember, Drew Brees had some shoulder issues, which precipitated some of that. After he left San Diego, he made a decision between New Orleans and Miami.
That's right. It was Miami.
Can you imagine what the NFL looks like now if Drew Brees goes to Miami and New Orleans has spent the last, whatever it's been, 14 seasons, 12 seasons, whatever he's been in New Orleans, rifling through quarterbacks like
I think the Saints would be what they were before that. They were known as the Aints.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah, I think it would have just continued with more of that.
Sean Payton is not the
Yep.
head coach that we all think he is now. Just so much changes based on that one decision. And honestly, there was no reason for him to choose New Orleans. Like, New Orleans is nice, but it had just come off of Katrina.
Yeah.
That had just
time.
happened, I want to say, a year before. There were some folks that were, I was one of them, that were saying you have to build a new stadium. You cannot host games in the Superdome anymore. I find it odd that we still have football games in the Superdome, knowing some of the things that happened in the Superdome. I think it's odd that we have football games there. I still do. Mm-hmm. And that he chose New Orleans and finished out his career. And I don't know that there's anybody, even Chargers fans, that when they hear Drew Brees think of him in a Chargers uniform anymore. Like, he's not a Chargers quarterback. He legitimately made his...
As a Saint. Like,
Yeah,
he's going to be...
he's a Saint.
When he goes in the Hall of Fame, he's going to go in
Saint.
as a Saint. You know, they talked about Peyton Manning along those lines going to the Hall of Fame, and there's all this debate over as a Colt
He's
or
a Colt.
Bronco.
He's a Colt.
But as a Broncos fan, I have to agree, as a Colt.
Yeah,
he
he's a Colt.
made the Colts. There's a statue of him outside of their stadiums.
Speaking of statues of people outside of stadiums...
They're going to build a statue of me outside of the Rose Palace?
I don't believe that's in the works
I
yet.
thought I heard a whisper.
You heard that. I did.
They're going to need a lot of concrete.
A lot of bronze. No, statues outside. So in Philadelphia, there's a statue of Doug Peterson outside the stadium 3 years after he won them a Super Bowl. Philadelphia, the team that could not win a Super Bowl, with Andy Reid could not win a Super Bowl. 3 years after Doug Peterson wins them a Super Bowl, they fire him. You want to talk about the NFL being a league of what have you done for me lately? You need to look no further than Doug Peterson to know that that's true. I'm shocked that it only takes 3 years to go from we've never won a Super Bowl before. He is important enough for us to put a statue outside of our stadium of him.
That's kind of weird.
To you're out.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, don't get me wrong. After the way he handled that Washington game at the end of the year, I wasn't very happy with him.
Yeah,
but I certainly
remember
would have
that.
left him as the head coach. Other things going on in the NFL. We've got Brady and Rodgers playing for the NFC Championship
Yes. At Lambeau.
at Lambeau.
That's
One of the coldest places.
Cold, like what you talked about. Yeah,
Yeah, so the Super Bowl is in Tampa this year, which sets up an interesting storyline if Tom Brady is able to take the Buccaneers there.
please don't let that happen.
The Super Bowl is in Tampa. Tampa is a warm city. It's a warm stadium.
Yep.
It's an open air stadium, but it's a warm place to play. The two teams that will play are the two games that will be played to find out who go to the Super Bowl. Could not be played in colder situations.
Right?
You've got one happening in Green Bay, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
and the
cold.
other happening in Buffalo.
Cold,
Nowhere
cold,
else
cold.
in the NFL is going to be colder than those two places.
Buffalo. So let's talk a little bit about the...
But the game, the AFC game, that's in Kansas City, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is in Kansas City.
Yeah, it is in Kansas City.
I was hoping it would be in Buffalo.
Yeah, if the Browns had been able to pull that off, but
Which is a great segue, because I want
tried.
to talk about that game for a second.
Okay.
Because I'm getting kind of lit up on
is this where
Twitter.
you pointed the finger at me?
Oh, that's
Are we getting to
right.
that?
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
yet.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. Go.
What was that about?
Oh, you're right.
It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Keep going.
No, we will discuss. We will get into that as we get close to the... so in the Cleveland game, in the Cleveland-Kansas City game, first thing that happened that I think is noteworthy is just before the half, Cleveland is driving to the end zone, and there is a fumble that occurs at the pylon by Cleveland. It rolls into the end zone and out of bounds.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
I did not watch the game. I'm learning about this as you say it
Okay.
because I was moving my son into college at the time.
Gotcha. So yeah, right near the end of the half, I can't remember the player. It wasn't Austin Hooper, but it was somebody. It was anyway. Cleveland Browns player is diving to the end zone. He does not get in. He does not have possession of the ball when he gets into the when it crosses the goal line. but he fumbles the ball. Now, it was an illegal hit. It was a spearing hit. He lowered his helmet to make the hit. So there's that whole thing, but we got to put that aside.
That's separate.
That wasn't even called. You can't review it.
Right.
There's no point in even discussing it. It is what it is. Should you be able to review those kind of calls? Maybe. But we're not going to discuss that. What I want to discuss is the worst rule in football. And that is a fumble that rolls into the end zone and out of bounds results in a change of possession and a touchback.
A touchback, yeah. Mm-hmm. Not a safety.
That is the dumbest rule in football.
It goes out of bounds, through the end zone, out of bounds. It results in a touchback.
That's correct.
Change of possession. 25-yard line. Yeah.
Yeah. No, or 20-yard line. But yeah.
Okay.
It's not a kick. This is a dumb rule.
What would you propose? What would you propose should be the case then?
The offensive team retains possession where the fumble occurred.
Where the fumble occurred, okay,
Right.
Not where it went out of bounds.
No, obviously
Just
not.
so that's kind of the same as when they fumble and it fumbles forward.
Yeah, so here's
Yeah,
the deal.
and it goes out of bounds,
If you
they don't
fumble
get
on
it
the
there.
3-yard line,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
if you fumble the ball and it rolls to the 1-yard line and rolls out of bounds, you get the ball at the 3-yard line.
Yep.
If you fumble on the 3-yard line and it rolls 4 yards into the end zone and out of bounds, the other team gets the ball on the 20.
I get you. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. To turn over the ball, to turn over possession, you should have to take possession of the ball. You should have to secure possession of the football to wrestle possession away from me. Anything less is not right.
Yep.
And then aside from that, you're giving them 20 extra yards. This is so I started before there were podcasts, before there was even social media. I used to call the stupidest rule in football, and I still believe this is true, was the force out rule. Do you remember the force out rule?
If they're forced out of bounds, then the clock continues to roll.
No. If the receiver was forced out of bounds making a catch, but the referee subjectively determined that he would have come down inbounds had it not been for the defensive player forcing him out of bounds, they receive the ball there.
Then they rule it as a catch.
It was ruled as a catch. It was called the force out rule.
Yeah, I remember
it was
that.
deleted, 20 years ago or something like that, which was good because it's the dumbest rule in football. You cannot tell defensive players you did your job, you kept him from coming down inbounds with a legal catch, but that doesn't matter. It's dumb.
Yeah,
it's
I
dumb.
agree.
It sounds counterproductive.
Yeah.
You're doing your job, but
Yeah, you did your job, but we're going to give them the ball anyway. Well, that's not fair.
Yeah.
I kept him from coming down in bounds with the ball. So when they got rid of the force out rule, I was ecstatic. Mm-hmm. This is the new force out rule to me. If you want to, Bill Cowher said something in the halftime coverage of that game on CBS. He said maybe they should retain possession of the ball. The offensive team should retain possession of the ball with down and to goal remaining, whatever down you were on, but you move them back to the 20-yard line. I'm not sure I like that, but I'm okay. But that's better than what happens currently. Because to give a free possession over to the defensive team because the other team dropped the ball and it rolled out at the wrong place doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree. I endorse that idea. While we're on the subject of rules, the one that bothers me more than that, and we've seen it come into play in the playoffs so far. I don't know if it was this week, but I know for sure last week. It might have been this week with in the case of the Ravens, but fourth down conversions. Or I'm not fourth down conversion. Sorry, onside kick.
Yeah, that's got to go. Well,
I think
kicks have to go.
I think they need to go with what the XFL did. First the AAF and then the XFL.
Yes,
especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. It makes the game more exciting. I've got lots of rule changes. I've always maintained that within the last 2 minutes of the game, the only way you can keep the clock running is to gain positive yardage.
Yep. We talked about that one.
I love that
one. I like it. Yep.
I love that because it makes the end of games exciting. And you can't kneel down the ball, and I hate the kneel down, so I'm trying to get rid of that with that rule.
No more victory formation.
They do need the competition committee. I'm serious about this. The competition committee does need to go back and really look at redefining somehow roughing the passer. It's getting out of hand.
Yeah,
it depends on the quarterback. Some
that's
get
been
a lot
for
of
a couple of
leeway.
years now.
You know that.
Yeah, no, it does because like Cam Newton does not get the same roughing the passer calls that Tom Brady does.
Oh, of course.
Or,
It's not fair.
I think anybody does.
nobody gets the things Tom Brady gets. That's not fair.
He gets his own cologne.
It was it this week or last week? A shove in the chest to a quarterback that was running backward, and he fell over after he had released the ball, and that's roughing the passer.
Yeah, please.
I mean, we got to fix this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got to fix it. 15 yards. So what they do with face masks, what I've thought about on this is intent has to, and I hate making calls subjective. I do. I hate giving the referees the subjective power to make the decision without having some objective parameters that have to be fit. But it works out really well with face mask. They take into account intent.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes that's just where your hand happens to land.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of thought process needs to be applied to roughing the passer. If you did so with the intent to injure or give them a lick when they didn't,
Well, the 15-yard variety, I'll leave it as is, but the 5-yard variety where it's just, you got and then released.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Does it?
Nope.
It's all 15.
It's all 15 and it's all subjective.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. There is no
totally,
5-yard face mask anymore.
Totally on board with that then.
And
because sometimes you just grab a face mask. Right. There's no intent.
And sometimes you hit a quarterback the way you're supposed to do.
Because he still had the ball when you went for the hit.
And we're calling him. So
yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks getting injured, because that's keeping from happening. 2 years ago, I want to say it was 2 years ago when both of these guys were becoming the hot thing. It might have been last year, but I think it was 2 years ago. You and I had a conversation about Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. And I said, I don't know about these two guys simply because the way they play the game is so all out that eventually I'm not sure how long you can do that before it causes a problem. Do you remember me saying this?
I do. And I agreed. I remember thinking that's more so the case for Lamar Jackson.
This week, both Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes sustained concussions.
Yes.
Yep.
Taking them out of their playoff games. One of them lost their playoff game due in no small part to the fact that he wasn't able to lead his team. And the other one just squeaked by with a victory.
True.
Yep.
So can we just say Philip is right? Can we just,
No,
can
we're
we
not
just say
going to
Philip
say
is
that.
right?
No.
Let's just say Philip knows what he's talking
I
about.
agreed with you on Lamar Jackson. Not so much on Patrick Mahomes because his game is much more diverse. Like he can throw from the pocket just as much as he can throw from the run on the run. Mm-hmm. He's not as dependent as a running quarterback as Lamar Jackson is.
But there are quarterbacks, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a running or passing quarterback problem, because another guy whose ultimately career was ended by the style in which he played the game became too much for his body to handle is Tony Romo, who is not a running quarterback.
No.
He is a pocket passer, kind of scrambling quarterback, but he was not a running quarterback.
He just took a lot of hits.
He did.
But he took a lot of hits.
Because he held the ball too long.
But he did sometimes hold the ball too long.
That's why.
The way he played the game and the fact that he played the game all out and did not take the slide sometimes when he needed to take the slide and some of those kind of things led to the end of his career. His final play in the preseason of Dak Prescott's rookie year was not a hard hit.
No.
But he had just
broke
beat
some
his
ribs.
body up so badly that he chipped off a part of his spine.
Yeah, but also there was those ribs. I mean,
He
he
did all kinds of things. Broke his collarbone twice in the same year. He just played the game in such a way that you can't play it that way and sustain. And I think Patrick Mahomes and another guy that did this was Robert Griffin III. He played the game in such a way that you just can't play that way and expect to have a long career. And I feel like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson both do that.
I agree with you in the fact that, quarterbacks that play with that kind of reckless abandon and run a lot, that they're going to take some hits and it's going to shorten their career. I just think, I don't know, I'm not convinced that Mahomes qualifies as that type of quarterback yet. I think he could easily make an adjustment and, not take those kind of risks. He just does it right now because he can.
Yeah, I think because he's young, like sort of like when you get older, you don't want to work harder, you want to work smarter. And quarterbacks who have been in the league longer realize that. I think it's their youth. They want to give 110%, which is great, but I think they're giving their body at that cost.
Aaron Rodgers used to be a lot more mobile when he was younger and run with the ball a lot more, and now he's
smarter.
Not as much because he plays smarter. He's
Exactly.
adjusted his game. I think Mahomes has that same capability.
I mean, I hope so. Watching Mahomes play the
I like
game
him.
is really, really amazing. Like the things he does, I've never seen a quarterback that's able to find the open receiver on every play like Patrick Mahomes can do.
He's very talented. He's a
hate
great
to
athlete.
Love Patrick Mahomes.
He's
really
incredibly talented.
Hate to love Patrick Mahomes.
I love him.
Like yesterday
hate to
when
love
he
him.
went out of that game,
I feel bad.
I felt like, see if he continues to play the game the way he plays the game, I see more of this coming.
I hope not.
I hope not either.
Maybe.
So the final NFL topic I want to get to
Okay.
is one. This is a Texas football topic.
Uh-oh.
It is Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson, I don't know how much longer this is going to be a Texas football conversation.
Probably not long.
Not very long.
Probably sometime in April. It's
Everyone's
gonna
jumping
end
ship.
right before the draft.
Everyone's trying
So
to
you
get
think
out
he
of
gets
there.
traded?
I think so.
You're talking too much.
I don't see how you can trade him.
Because of his contract and it, but I see the challenges for it, but I also see somebody out there. There are quarterback hungry teams out there that are willing to sell the farm and pay the price to get that kind of talent under center, because the NFL is a quarterback league. If you don't have a
there's no
quarterback,
doubt.
you're not going to be successful.
No doubt that is true. You are not wrong.
So the price is going to be worth it for some.
But don't you think he's getting a little petty about no one told him
Absolutely.
this?
I think it's
that's too much.
Absolutely. And Philip kind of touched on this. I don't want to steal his thunder. I'll let him say what his thoughts are on this. But if he demands a trade and he wants out, and Houston can get the asking price, which is going to be astronomical.
So Cole Thompson, our buddy Cole Thompson, that used to be the team reporter for the San Antonio Commanders,
Yes.
has said that he believes, and he spent some time around that organization
did.
as a
He worked
team
for them.
reporter. He believes that the asking price will be 3 firsts and 3 seconds and a Pro Bowl level player.
Okay. So if someone has
That's too much.
a high draft pick this year and is in need of a quarterback, and there are teams out there like that, maybe the Jets, Miami.
I've heard both of those as possible trade
Now,
destinations for Deshaun Watson.
I think Jacksonville, if they didn't own the number 1 pick, they might be all over it as well, but they own the number 1 pick. So
the killer on that is you have to get that big a package, because you're going to be left with a certain amount of dead money that you've already paid and will hit you all at once on your cap. So you have to have a lot of draft picks because you're going to have cheap players, cheap good players, to be able to field a decent team, because your cap is going to be hurt over the next 2 years by trading Deshaun Watson.
Miami has a lot of draft picks, and I think the ironic thing is it isn't a lot of those draft picks originally from Houston.
And so that kind of right
Like
from the
giving
Tunsil
back.
trade.
Yeah.
So this, to me, this makes sense. Like if that is the package that goes, I see how it makes sense for Houston to take that package and trade Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
The problem is I can't think of any team or any GM that would realistically mortgage 3 years of their draft, even for a franchise quarterback.
That's what I said. It's too much.
Someone that's been bad for a long time and is desperate to become a contender, like the Jets. I could see them doing that.
I mean, at that point, aren't you giving away the entire future of your? Who are you going to put around him? Like you've got Deshaun
Team is
Watson,
not
great,
just
but
one
you,
person.
yeah, but who are you going to put around him?
You can have all those tools, and if you don't have the quarterback, you're not getting anywhere.
But when good quarterbacks come out of the
Gotta be a
6th round,
balance.
the best quarterback in the NFL, I think it's fair to say at this point, came out of the 6th round. You're telling me you're willing to give up 6 chances at Tom Brady
It's a gamble.
for Deshaun Watson?
It's a gamble.
It's too big of a gamble.
It's a gamble.
I don't think they'll
Even
find a
with the
team
number
that'll
one
buy
pick,
it.
the number one pick, you draft.
Oh yeah, no. Sometimes you get Peyton Manning, and sometimes you get Ryan Leaf,
Yes, exactly.
and I get that.
And Deshaun Watson is a proven commodity at the position.
You were talking about my thought on Deshaun Watson. Here's my problem with, and I like Deshaun. I have liked Deshaun Watson since he came out of college. I liked him at Clemson, but his argument at this point is, I signed a contract with you, a 6-year contract, if I'm correct. I signed a 6-year contract to be the franchise quarterback for your franchise. Less than a year ago. Now I am upset because you didn't ask my opinion on my boss's boss.
It is
petty.
ridiculous.
Too petty.
But I think,
And I want you to take a loss. I want you to take a loss and get rid of me because I'm mad at you.
I agree. I think it's a little
find that
over
petty.
the top and petty.
That's what I said.
But it's also, I think there's a lot more there. It's probably just the final straw.
And that's probably true. Deshaun Watson is a better player than the 4-12 that they went this year, and I think he knows that.
Maybe he just wants out of an organization that he sees is in a tailspin and isn't doing anything to get any better, get him where he
But
wants
if that
to
was
be.
like, that can't be news. Like, you've been around this organization for 3 years when you signed 4 years when you signed that contract. That can't be news to you.
Well, I mean, they were
It was
on their
after-
way to the
they-
AFC Championship last year till they blew it.
They had already traded DeAndre Hopkins when he signed that contract.
Yeah.
Like, if it was before that and you sign that contract and then they trade away the best wide receiver in the game, then you're like, wait, this isn't what I signed on for. It was after that.
True. Yeah. I think there's something more there.
Yes. On some level, you signed a contract and you're kind of stuck. And it's such a large contract, it's going to be hard for the Texans to get value back. I don't see where a trade happens at this point. Like, unless somebody is just willing to give up the entire future of their franchise, I don't see it.
We'll know by April.
And
We'll know
if
before
that's
then.
the case, and he remains, if his rights remain in Houston, does he play?
Yeah, I mean, he can always just hold out.
But
That's the other
at
thing.
his prime. I mean, these are his prime years. He's going to hold out and miss seasons, miss games, miss seasons in his prime.
How much of his contract is guaranteed?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
And he makes a lot of money on endorsements too. Like
He can wipe his tears with those $100 bills.
He's still young.
he is young.
Yep.
25.
It would just be such a loss. He's a great player. He's a great guy. I just don't. I don't know. I don't like this.
He's playing for an organization that isn't going to take him anywhere. I believe
That's
that.
true.
And if he doesn't make a stand,
They just hired the GM they just hired is out of the Patriots organization. And if anybody knows how to put together good football teams, they come out of the Patriots organization.
really? I mean,
Have you heard of the New England Patriots?
Yeah.
Are you familiar
have.
with the New
I
England
remember when
Patriots?
Josh McDaniels went to Denver and what that looked like.
That was fun. We all had fun with that. We all enjoyed that. God, he's up for more coaching jobs.
He's not a head coach.
I don't think so either. No. Well, and I think he will be the next head coach in New England. I think that's already been decided, and I think that's the reason that he doesn't take, like he famously took and then reneged on the Indianapolis job a couple of years ago, which turned out to be the best thing in the world to happen to Indianapolis because they got Frank Wright, and Frank Wright is a good coach.
Yes.
But Josh McDaniels took that job and then reneged and said, never mind, I don't want that job. I think what happened is Kraft said, look, when Bill's gone, you're my guy.
We'll see.
And so I think Josh McDaniels will be the head coach in New England when Bill is done.
I'm sure McDaniels has grown and matured a lot since his time in Denver.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think so. You don't grow and mature in New England. Are you kidding me? But they do know how to put together a football team. Like, they put together a dynasty, and anybody that's connected with that organization deserves a shot. That being said, Bill O'Brien was connected with that organization, and that didn't work out. So
Yeah, I still maintain the Chiefs need to give him a ring for their championship last year. Yep.
it's entirely possible. It's interesting to see what's happened to Houston football in just a calendar year.
Oh, yeah.
They were up, 21 points?
21 points at the half, right?
In the AFC Championship game?
And, then they just got out.
And now they are the
destroyed.
laughing stock.
right.
Yep.
Like they're not sure they'll be able to find a head coach.
Monumental
failure.
Fall. Yep.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
They finally fired him.
Well, let me tell you where that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen in San Antonio with the Gunslingers.
No,
not at all.
No, not at all, for sure.
We've got good owners. We've got good. We got a good GM in Jonathan Young.
Yep,
We have an excellent head coach, Tony Hernandez.
for sure.
We got lots of good things.
Got an awesome podcast.
Yeah, I mean they're above average for sure.
Amazing fans. Great
they're
cheerleaders.
above average for sure. But that's what we're excited about. It's 68 days from the moment that this episode drops. 68 days until our first home game. We may see a road game before that, about 8 days or 9 days before that.
How many shows is that? 68 days?
Oh, geez.
Well, it depends if we're going to go weekly soon.
That's true.
I feel like we should go weekly, probably middle of February. That's a month before the season starts.
Okay.
But that's all stuff we can talk about off air.
Offline, yeah.
Did we give the dates of all the games or just that one game?
You've got them in front of you. You can give the dates of all the games.
So the first game is March 29th. So if you guys have a calendar, mark those dates. They're all going to be on Mondays. Again, Mondays. April 12th. Third game is April 26th. And the fourth game right now is April 10th. And we're still holding out on the fifth game.
Yeah, and that fifth game will be coming. I feel like there was a game in May, and then it
I think so.
disappeared.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I thought there was 2 games in May.
All those games, by the way, 7:30 kickoff.
Oh, 7:30,
But again,
that's
gates
good.
open at 12. You can
Yeah.
get there from
I'll be there at
12
12:01.
Start, yep.
Well, yeah. Number one.
Knowing URC, you'll be there at 11:20 waiting for the gate to open.
I'm working on my margaritas. They sell liquor at that time, right? Yeah, they do.
I wouldn't know.
On a Monday. We'll find out.
I wouldn't know. I'm not allowed to drink liquor. That's actually a Back to the Future quote.
Oh, okay.
Back to the Future 2.
I was like, okay.
For anybody that's... did you catch... you didn't watch the games yesterday?
Yesterday, no.
Okay.
I did watch
Yeah, I
some.
was
Tony Romo made
doing
a...
my dad duty.
Tony Romo made a
Comment?
Mortal Kombat reference.
Oh.
Without referencing, like he just said it, and I was like, that's a Mortal Kombat reference. He was talking about a hold, and one of the offensive linemen holding a guy as he was coming down, and he said, he just kind of said, get over here. And I'm like, it's a Mortal Kombat reference.
Nice.
By the way, did you guys check out the games on Nickelodeon? That was hilarious with the Bears, even though they lost.
It was interesting.
I liked it.
It was something.
I think for introducing it to kids, people
Hey.
that don't know football, the way
It was-
they describe
yeah.
the
Look,
rules and everything, it was great. Yeah.
The Major League Baseball has done a terrible job of introducing their sport to younger fans. They put them, all the games are on at night now. They used to be day games where people could enjoy the games during the day. All games are at night now. Certainly the World Series is all at night now. Kids can't enjoy it. Major League Baseball has done a terrible job
Right.
of introducing the next generation of fans. I thought to do that, specifically that, introduce the next generation of fans to football. Look, there was a head coach of an NFL, a Super Bowl winning head coach watching that game who fell in love with football. You know, there was a broadcaster that will broadcast the Super Bowl for Fox or CBS that was watching that game. That was the first full football game they ever watched in their lives. Like they are doing a great job of introducing their sport to the next generation of fans. Was it for me? Like on a regular basis, would I watch games on Nickelodeon? No. It was fun one time. I don't know that I'll ever do that again.
It was good for a quarter, then 2 quarters after that, I was done with
I
it.
watched, I think, the whole game, and the cannons, the slime cannons were
slime
fun,
cannons.
and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, the booth was not bad,
Yeah.
but it's just not the level that I'm looking for in my football. But to introduce new fans to the game, that was spot on, awesome.
I thought it was fun. I love the way they describe the rules, for newcomers. It's unfortunate it wasn't a more competitive game.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, the Bears
Of course.
did not look good.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
no,
RC,
I
but they
know,
were.
I know.
I will say though, as time expired in that game,
They caught on.
Jimmy Graham made a sensational catch for that touchdown. I was just like, what a catch, but then the game ended.
Yeah.
You know, and it was all for naught because it was already out of reach.
Yeah.
But that was an awesome catch.
Not an awesome.
Yeah,
game,
it was
but
interesting. It's an interesting way to introduce fans to the game. I would not watch it if they did one of those a week. I wouldn't watch it, but
A lot of kids would.
but kids would.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think it was
that's
a good
good.
family
Good for
time.
the sport.
You know, and we should really start bringing kids into the podcast. That's my next objective. That's my next goal.
Maybe. Another offline discussion.
Yeah. All right. Well, we need to wrap it up right there. So there you go. That's the end of another show.
That was fast.
It feels like we just sat down.
Yeah.
I know.
It feels like we just started. Feels like we haven't even done a show yet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A little crazy.
just-
So
Went by.
yeah, lots going on, lots to get excited about.
Absolutely.
Fun stuff right around the corner. 68 days, not a lot of time.
Not a lot.
It's gonna be here before you know it.
I mean, the way days run, like if I don't, it's mainly with stuff that I need to get done that I'm like, well, I'll do that tomorrow. And it, you know, like I need to do some work on my truck and it's been out, you know, it's been out of commission for like 2 months now because I
Still
need to,
waiting on
yeah,
that
I'm
work,
still
yeah.
waiting. These things pass quickly.
That's true.
And 68 days is going to go by really quick.
Lickety
So
split.
we're going to wrap things up there. All that's left for us to say is that Smokin Gunz Podcast is brought to you by
Texas Sports LMT, and that stands for Licensed Massage Therapist. Specializes in sports massage, sports stretch, Swedish, and deep tissue massage. Texas Sports LMT has been in business 8 years and was nominated Best of San Antonio 3 years in a row. She worked alongside the San Antonio Commanders, making sure they were game day ready at all times. She has also worked and provided sports stretch to numerous players from the NFL and the NFL Combine. Now, she was last week. She was in Florida.
Saw that.
Training with the athletes who are going to be trying out for the combine.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing pictures, and she loved it. So she's got the 411 on who's going to be trying out for the combine. That's pretty cool. So sports stretch is structured to be performed on athletes of any size or stature. It is safe for just about anyone who is looking to gain flexibility in order to perform better on the field, in the gym, and everyday activities. Give Laura, the Texas Sports LMT, a call to set up an appointment today. All of those gunslingers, get ready to take down this number, 210-459-0176. It's not how you train, it's how you recover.
Smokin Gunz Podcast is also brought to you by Always Green Lawns of San Antonio. In San Antonio, artificial grass lawns are an incredibly popular addition for many types of commercial and residential applications. Their turf is child-friendly. It is pet-friendly, which means what?
It doesn't smell, and you can just rinse it off with
You
water.
can rinse that poop off.
You don't have
Rinse
to
the poop.
scoop
You don't
the
have to
poop.
grab it with the plastic bag or anything. Just
Right.
shoo.
You just rinse that stuff off.
That's right.
Whether it's your pet that poops on your lawn or your child. If your child
What?
poops on the it says
Okay.
it's child and pet friendly.
All right. All
so
right.
if your child
okay.
is pooping on the lawn, you can just rinse that off.
Sure. Okay. Let's do
Your
that.
neighbor.
Your neighbor.
Your neighbor.
Hey,
What kind of neighbors do you have?
Your drunk neighbor. There you go.
Always Green Lawns of San Antonio provides a look and feel that is superior to any other synthetic grass on the market, offering top quality at great prices to San Antonio and the surrounding areas. Imagine doing away with a portion of your home or commercial property maintenance budget while conserving water, saving time, protecting the environment from pesticides and herbicides, and you don't have to do lawn maintenance anymore.
That's true. That's
No edging.
beautiful.
That's a big plus.
No edging, no mowing, no weed eating. Like the weed eating and the mowing stinks, but edging is my least favorite
Yeah.
by far.
Yeah, I could see what I could.
And it was really
Agree
my
with
least
that.
favorite when I was a kid. My dad decided he was going to go with, we used to have an electrical edger and it gave out, and he instead bought one that was, he called it Phillip powered.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It was just a
And you have
wheel.
to push with
Yeah.
the wheel with the little.
It's just the
blades
wheel
on
with
it.
the little
Yeah.
blades on it that you have to push along.
My uncle had one of those that I had to
Not
do
fun.
that. Yeah.
Save money, save time, help the environment with a product that pays for itself. Not to mention, their grass products will make your property look beautiful. This is a perfect time to call Always Green Lawns of San Antonio to upgrade your lawn. It's 210-413-1034. We want to make sure we thank our patrons.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
We have Mo.
They help this happen.
Yeah, we have Mo and Iris Ferrante.
Thank you guys.
I did it.
Yes.
We have
Very
Herman
good.
Robles.
Herman, thank
We
you.
have Alba Nava
Thank you, Alba.
And then the boss man, Jason Torres, that jumps on, and you next. You,
Yes.
No, you. Yes.
That's right.
Jason.
You.
Thanks you. Thank you. And you and you.
Jump
and
on
you.
board. They're getting the information before. Well, Jason gets the information before
Before
anybody.
us.
That's
He's the
true.
first one. What he cracked a joke like he's paying us to give him the information
That's
that he's
true.
already given us.
That is true. So big things happening. We would love for you to be a part of the show if you're able and be one of those people that get all the information first and that help us make this show go, like Mo and Iris, Herman, Alba, and Jason. That's going to wrap things up.
Uh-huh.
If you're looking for evidence that professional football works in San Antonio, we have the fans,
Yes, we do.
Yep.
we have the food,
Yes, we do.
we have the football.
Yes, we do.
In
And the
68
salsa.
days, we have the football.
Yes.
It's going to be awesome.
We have the tailgating. We have the what do you say? We have the cheerleaders.
Hello.
You already got to hear from a couple of them. They're excited. We're excited.
Yeah, we are.
We've got it all wrapped up. If you need evidence that pro football works in San Antonio, you don't need to look any farther than the Smokin Guns.
Bang, bang.